look who's just dropped by. Welcome all. Welcome you thrill seekers, tightrope walkers, wisdom searchers, and, well, dare I say it, any death defiers out there? Okay, no, you're not experiencing vertigo. This is
Dr. Marc.
And I'm Elmer, and we are
Marc and Elmer's PSI Piano Seed Investigations.
Yes. And if you like what we do today, you like our episodes, you enjoy our company and the conversation, please go down below, like, comment, and subscribe. And please do visit us on Facebook. If you are born today you have the same birthday as the Polish pianist Jacob Gimpel. Or Gimpel. Anyways, he was born in the year 1906, passed away in 1989. Before we get started, here we go again. Please take care of your pianos. This is the Corey piano polish and lemon oil. I guess you guys know what these are for, right? Okay. Anyways,
Presumably.
Yeah, hopefully. You don't drink it and you don't wear it like cologne. It's not hairspray either.
He tried it.
Yeah, it doesn't work, folks. No, it doesn't. No, it does.
Even
Definitely
in
does
a
not
pinch?
work. I'm sorry?
Even in a pinch?
No, not even a pinch. Well, I'll tell you what. I tell you, it's been a couple times. Usually when I was single, all I had on my bathroom sink was just toothpaste, my toothbrushes, some combs, and sometimes even my hair dryer when I didn't feel like putting it back and I was in a rush, right? So, well, today it's much different, so we'll have facial lotions, hand lotions, toothpaste. I mean, the whole pretty much, and more stuff in our bathroom counter than I could.
That's all for you?
No, it's not just for me. No. But I will say, on times when I'm just getting up and I'm not fully awake yet, I usually brush my teeth, before I go downstairs or do anything else. I'm thinking maybe twice I've accidentally put hand lotion on my toothbrush. And believe me, that's a nasty taste.
Yeah.
The nastiest taste. I was thinking, some of it, and they all taste different. The hand lotions, they taste different.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, Kathy doesn't get the usual brand name, the brand name hand lotions or the brand name toothpaste. She gets these, other company brands that claim that it's better for you or healthier for you or what have you. And it's strange. All the bottles, all the tubes are the exactly same shape. The only difference is the color, and they keep the color of the tubes are in sort of these pastel light pastel colors, and the lettering on it is like in white.
Oh God!
And so if you're not fully awake and not paying attention,
he's half blind anyway. So
if you're not paying attention, and these tubes, they sit on their lids. The lids, the flat top lids.
Yeah.
You put them this way.
Yeah.
On the counter, and when you have about 4 or 5 of those on the bathroom counter, and you're just reaching for the nearest one, and you put it on your toothbrush, you're not going to pay attention to it, because it all comes out white like toothpaste.
Yeah.
So but anyways, it's an awful taste, So, anyways, well, I don't know. Before we start, at the end of each episode, we talk about what we've been reading, what we've been listening. Come back for more, right? Well, I can't hold it back any longer.
Uh-oh.
Recently, this week, I made a stop over at Half Price Books.
Oh.
Now, I haven't been there for me. 2 weeks is a long time. Okay, and so I just stopped by there to see what kind of things they have, and this could be one of our. This is a surprise to me, but I knew. I mean, we've had conversations about this guy before, George Enescu.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I recently found this, the complete works for solo piano by Enescu.
Oh my God.
And I cannot tear myself away from these recordings.
Wow, I've never even seen that list.
Yes. The pianist is Josu de Salon. Salon or something like that. But he is... This is what the cover looks like. It kind of reminds me of Vincent van Gogh. But he is the winner of the Georges Enescu International Piano Competition
good for
of
him.
2014. And I opened up the first CD. I slipped into my car's CD player, and it is a Nocturne in D-flat major. And I was taken almost right away from the very opening of this Nocturne. It opens with this low D-flat. And at first, it was sort of reminiscent of for me, it kind of reminded me of the Chopin's Nocturne B-flat minor. The middle episode where, it's all D-flat major, and he just sort of doodles from D-flat major, D-flat 7 here and there. But anyways, yeah, from the word get-go, it was I was just taken back by it. It was wonderful. I cannot tear myself away from listening to these recordings. I'm still on CD 1. There are 3 CDs here. 3 CDs. And Georges Enescu surprises me. He has some of his music is described in the little booklet here as at times very Brahmsian, at times French late romantic, and even some Fauréisms. So, and it is all of that. But here you have 3 piano sonatas. Is it 3 or is it just 1? Yeah, there are 3 piano sonatas. Well, hold on. I didn't read this carefully. There's 1 piano sonata in F sharp minor. There's a piano sonata number 3 in D major. I do not see a sonata number 2. Nope, I don't see one. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe it's lost or still being put together. But anyways, there's piano suites, there's scherzos, there's impromptus. Here's an interesting one. A suite in the style, ancient style, or old style, for piano, opus 3. I wonder if it's influenced by Grieg's Hallberg suite. So, anyways, and here's even a piece on the name of Fauré. That's interesting. Here's a prelude and fugue of 1903. But, anyways, I couldn't hold back, folks. I just had to tell. I was so excited about listening to this. After I listened to it, I had to mention something about it today. I haven't stopped listening to it for the last couple days now while I'm on the road, getting from one pianist to the next. It's absolutely wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. Anyways, he could possibly well be, as a matter of fact, I'm almost sure that he's going to be one of our featured composers we'll eventually discuss.
Cool.
So, anyways, moving onward. So, we talked about, let's see. We often talk about Schifra,
George
Schifra. The improvisations, the transcriptions. He was he was practically dubbed the second Horowitz during his time. But, I'm just starting to discover that even though his abilities, his prowess technically on the piano is almost superhuman. Okay, but the ability to improvise like that was not uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
Sergio Fiorentino did it all the time. He used to do it as a warm-up.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this guy here. I just told you about his birthday. Jacob Gimpel.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, yes, he does improvise. He improvises a lot, as a matter of fact. So I wanted to talk about him today because even though there's not very much information about him, he's rather significant in the way he shaped the world of piano because of the number of concerts he gave, during his prime. Here, let me tell you about it. He was born on April 16th, today, 1906 in Lvov, Poland, which is now Lviv, Ukraine, today.
Oh.
So, anyways, he had a younger brother, Bronislav Gimpel, who was a concert violinist, and an older brother named Karl, who was also a pianist, but his main gig was conductor. Piano studies began with his father, Adolf, and eventually that would lead him to the Lvov Conservatory, from which he graduated at 15 years old, then went to Vienna to study piano with Edward Steuermann. And get this, while he was there, he even had time to study music theory with Alban Berg.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely. And anyways, he was doing many concerts there, recitals, and with great success. It made him really popular. It definitely caught the ear of one Pierre Montu. He was invited in 1926 at the age of 20 years old to perform Rachmaninoff's Second Concerto with a concert cabal. And that performance alone pretty much sent him on his way to his career to perform everywhere in Europe.
Wow.
So, anyways, and there was even stories about him having even appeared 80 times in one country. I mean, that's quite a lot. Anyways, he was also touring with violinists. Let me know if you've heard of some of these guys. Bronislaw Huberman. Erica Marini.
Yep.
You've heard of Erica Marini?
Yeah.
Well, she's kind of new to me. This one Nathan Milstein. Okay, and his brother Bronislaw. So I guess they were a close knit family. So, anyways, eventually in 1937, together with Huberman, they founded the Palestine Symphony Orchestra, which today is now the Israel Philharmonic Orchestra. He eventually would come to the USA in 1938, first landing in New York, stayed there for a while, and eventually moved to LA. Now, after the World War II, 1954, he returned to Europe, and from what I looked up, he performed about, at least a couple hundred concerts in West Germany. So, anyways, that was interesting. Eventually, he stayed there for a while and eventually came back to the U.S. again. In 1971, he became, 1971 to 1986, he became professor at the California State University, Northridge. From there, apparently he was awarded the West German Order of Merit, first class. Was also awarded the Ben Gurion Award from the State of Israel. Now, if you're not familiar with Gimpel, we've talked about him a couple times. He often performed with the MGM Symphony Orchestra in Hollywood, mostly to for his music to appear to be heard on soundtracks to several movies. Among them, 1943 movie Above Suspicion, where you hear him play the Liszt Piano Concerto No. 1. 1944 Gaslight. 1947 Possessed. 1952 a movie called Strange Fascination. Now, I've never watched any of these. 1955, The Big Combo. 1965, Harlow. And 1971, we talked about this once. His piano playing is heard on Mephisto Waltz. Remember that one with Alan Alda and Jack Bissett and all those guys?
This guy?
That was this guy.
Oh.
That was this guy. Now, I guess his biggest claim to fame is having been heard, his playing being heard in 1953 on an episode of Tom and Jerry called Johann Mouse. I guess you heard him play.
I think I've seen that. Because he wears a wig like Bach.
Yeah.
Jerry does.
Well, yeah, Bach or Tom or whoever it is. And Tom's playing the piano.
Was Tom?
Yeah, Tom was the one. Tom Cat was the one playing.
So there's no Jerry with the wig on? Anyway.
I don't know. But anyways, that episode, that cartoon actually won an Academy Award.
Wow.
So that's amazingly enough. But he's also heard in a Bugs Bunny episode, Rhapsody Rabbit. You have it. It's probably on that CD, the DVD collection. Yeah. So he's also heard on there. Now, strangely enough, my introduction to his playing, happened years ago. I think I must have been 12 or 13 when I watched the Mephisto Waltz with Alan Alda, and it was on one of those late afternoon movie theater things on television. I think ours was either United Artists or Superhost Theater. I don't know if you remember Superhost Theater, but anyways, it is a very psychedelic movie. It's not. I mean, it is definitely not for kids. Mm-hmm. It's got some rather posing some satanic stuff in it. I don't think it really. I mean, they just made it to look scary. So there's some camera tricks in there where the room spins and people's faces sort of swell in and out this way and that way. So it's very surreal. Sorry?
Made in the later 60s or something like that? Or?
I think so.
So it's that period of time.
Yeah, you'll know what I mean. I mean, it came out during the time of...
Let's put it this way. They put in those special effects.
Yeah.
Because people were so wired out at the time.
Yeah.
They needed that in order to just be able to focus.
Probably. So, but anyways, that was my first interest. Well, I guess I didn't know it was him on Johann Mouse, and I didn't know it was him on Rhapsody Rabbit. I mean, as a kid, they never really did give him credit in the credits for.
What's his last name again? Gimpel.
Gimpel. Gimpel.
Gimpel.
And if you listen to him on YouTube, he's got plenty of recordings on YouTube. It's very. I'm going to venture to say it's rather old school.
Yeah.
Okay. But okay, for my taste. All right, not for my. It's for my taste. He has lots of moments where it's brilliant and very musically inventive, but it's not always clean. Okay, it's not always clean. And I will mention that his main pianist of influence, Ignaz Friedman. You couldn't do better than Ignaz Friedman.
Yeah.
He has recently, and I guess in the last 5 to 10 years, a published score edited by Marc-Andre Hamelin. It is his 1942 concert paraphrase of the song of the Soldiers of the Sea. Now, David Duvall mentions in his book that it is a melody from an 1868 Offenbach operetta. Now, if you listen to it, you'll all know what the theme is. Okay, it's actually the Marines hymn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know it. So it's, anyways, I'm sure our viewers out there know it as well. And it's got a lot of brilliant finger work. And it's got octaves. It's very brilliant, but I can't help getting the cartoon thing out of my head listening to it.
This was written during the Second World War.
It says here 1942.
Yeah. And he was in the United States by then because he would have done all those cartoons and things from that period of time.
Yeah.
The Polish
movies
necessarily. Arthur Rubinstein was involved in England with war work. He was, very proud of his country and very concerned about them and everything. Rubinstein actually worked as a translator and interpreter when needed because he spoke Polish, Russian, French, German, all that. So he did work like that during the war in England. And then this guy, but there was a very strong Polish resistance movement, big time. Because, of course, they were the first ones to fall under the cannons from the Nazis in 1939. Yeah. And that I see things in the news in terms of the artwork that was stolen from Poland, from Warsaw. They're still working to resolve those cases. And there's still some works that are famously missing still to this very day.
Wow.
There's a big one. There's a famous one. I'm pretty sure they have not reclaimed the painting. If they have, I'll put a correction up. But it's Da Vinci, I think.
Whoa.
And it's a woman with white ermine. It's a vertical painting with a very obviously upper class lady, and she has what is an ermine? It's like a ferret, right?
Yeah.
It's real fuzzy white and everything, and she's holding it like a pet in her arms. That apparently belonged to some wealthy, possibly Jewish family in Poland, and that's one of those works. Of course, it has a history, right, going back to Da Vinci, and various people would have had it, but since it disappeared in the Second World War, nobody knows where it is. They're pretty sure it wasn't destroyed, but that somebody's got it, and they ain't giving it up.
Wow. Wow.
It's a bad scene.
Yeah.
So much, and I remember reading, just recently I read something, 4/5, I mean, literally next to the entire city of Warsaw was leveled.
Gosh. Wow. But
And what was the movie then? The famous actor who plays the piano and the Nazi guy hears him playing by himself and turns away and leaves.
The pianist?
Is that what it was?
Yeah, Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody.
Yeah, Adrian Brody played. Yeah.
That's actually based on a true story.
It is based on a true story.
And it's a Polish guy, right?
It is a Polish guy. His name was Władysław Szpilman.
Szpilman, yeah.
Szpilman, yeah.
Does he write music too? Isn't there?
I think he did. He does write music, or he did. I don't know if it appears in a movie.
I know his name historically.
Yeah.
Is there some like semi-romantic movie concerti that were written that Spielman either played or were written for him or something like that?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you remember who was the Peter Nero who recorded all that stuff? I think I've got an old album of famous movie concerto type things.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff.
Oh, there's some great stuff. Well, there's a movie called Dangerous Moonlight, and that one features the Warsaw Concerto by
the Warsaw Concerto. That's it. Yeah.
So that's one. So, but yeah, and that one is probably the most famous.
Just reminded of movies. We talked about this some time ago. Maybe we should do this again. Old movies with really great classical or kind of quasi-classical music in it.
Yeah.
I was thinking of that movie that has Dana Andrews. He's a composer that goes blind, and Hoagie Carmichael is his roommate.
Night Song.
And you remember who the pianist was?
It was Arthur Rubinstein.
Played the music on it.
Yeah.
And what's her name? She was married to Sir Laurence Olivier. I think it was her. No, she wasn't. She was married to the guy who specialized in Hollywood lighting because she had a slightly damaged face or something, and they made the special lights for her.
Yeah.
She was famous.
Oh, yeah, I know she's famous. She played George Sand in Song to Remember.
Yes.
I know who you're talking about.
I can't think of her name. I'll put it up, the British actress. But she's very sharp-nosed and lovely lady, but apparently something happened. Was it a car accident or something? But
I have
this
absolutely no clue.
guy
I don't know
figured
the story.
out how to light her.
Yeah.
And the light that he created is named after her. The
Really?
kind of close-up light that he made. Of course, it's black and white movies, but Merle Oberon.
Yes, Merle Oberon.
M-E-R-L-E, Merle
Yes.
Oberon was her name.
Yeah.
She was not married to, the one that was in Gone with the Wind was one of the wives married to Laurence Olivier.
Okay. Was it
What's her name?
Vivian Leigh? Or?
Vivian Leigh, yeah.
Okay.
She's actually English, you know that?
I didn't know
She
that.
was not
Vivian Leigh
she
is?
was not an American Southern girl.
Oh,
No, that was an affectation.
Oh, that's pretty good.
No, she was his wife. I think he was married more than once, but they were together for a period of time. Yeah. But Merle Oberon was this smart lady.
Yeah.
She married the cameraman in Hollywood who figured out the special light that made her look lovely on.
Oh, wow.
He's a keeper.
Yeah, no kidding. The cameraman. Amazing.
So, I'm sorry, that's one of my asides.
Oh, that's okay.
Semi-related.
Yes. So, anyways, Jacob Gimple gets my seal of approval. Go ahead and listen to it.
How did he come up for you? You just look him up for
I just looked him up. Yeah, I looked at. Well, I just remember seeing his name. I mean, you know, we look for the underbelly, the glacier, you know, and we try to find names that that are rarely heard, and his name was one of them, Jacob Gimple.
This guy,
one of the movies I saw. The first time I saw his name was in the movie The Mephisto Waltz with Alan Alda and Jacqueline Bisset.
That's a memorable. It's not a haunting.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be totally out of it to watch that movie. It's not an optimistic film. It's it's.
And if you can imagine that Hawkeye, right?
Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin Pierce, Alan Alda. He's a comedian, you know. I brought up as a comedic actor, but there was always something a little dark and sinister behind the eyes.
Oh yeah.
Something with him, and he plays that to the hilt in this movie.
Oh yeah. It's a very good film. The storyline, if you take away the psychedelic stuff and some of the montages, it actually has an interesting story. We've gone through music history with Franz Liszt and Paganini, where rumors seem to go about how the possibility that they sold their soul to the devil in order to be able to play the way they did. These stories just create legends.
Yeah.
And apparently, in this movie, Mephisto Waltz decides to say, what if the rumors were true?
Mm-hmm.
What if the rumors were true? And so, with that premise, I'll leave it alone. I won't give you any more I won't give you any spoilers.
That whole story, I'm sure it goes way back.
Oh,
the whole concept. But is that a Christopher Marlowe or a Goethe kind of origin in the more modern times? The Faust story.
The Faust story? Yeah.
Is it?
It's well, my first introduction to it was Goethe.
It is Goethe, no?
Goethe, yeah.
But I think
Marlowe didn't come till much later.
Although he was earlier.
Oh, was he earlier?
Marlowe was Shakespeare's time. Yeah, before Goethe.
You know what? I think.
But
you're right.
I'm realizing now, because the whole story is based upon the medieval, Renaissance idea of the alchemist, the guy trying to create magic in his laboratory, and in this case, it's the famous story of the old scientist wizard who wants more time to continue his work, and he makes a deal with the devil to live longer. And he, I don't know if originally the whole story has to do with sex as well, but it certainly got turned into that. And that's the tragedy, is how he ruins this poor lady's life. Yeah. For his own selfish ends.
Yeah. And eventually, we have the opera by Gounod.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if they ever made another one.
Well,
I know the Faust Symphony by Liszt.
But there's Arrigo Boito, the other Italian composer. You ever see the Batman movie? The one where the little boy's watching the opera with his parents in the theater, and these bat-like creatures are climbing all over this net on stage.
No.
Gets really scared.
You're talking Batman and Robin?
The Batman movie. It's one of the early ones. So it might be the one that has what's his name as the Joker.
Cesar Romero?
No. I'm talking movies later on.
Oh, okay. How far back?
Jack Nicholson. Remember, he played the very memorable
Yeah.
Joker in that. I'm not sure if that's the film, but it's really cool because Boito's music and stuff appears in the early part of that Batman movie.
Yeah.
In a partial staging of the opera.
Right.
I'm sure it's not the whole thing, but there's these bats crawling all around on this netting on the stage, and the boy, Bruce Wayne, gets really upset and nervous, and his father's this very, very gentle and looking after his son, doctor, and his mom, and they're all dressed up and everything. And he says, "Dad, can we go?" And this is what starts the whole sense of guilt for the Batman, because they go out the side stage door into the alleyway.
Yeah.
And this guy accosts his parents in the alleyway.
Okay.
And he kills both of them, shoots them. And there's a famous scene that the mom's pearls break and they're all going all over the dark, wet alleyway. The real truth of the back of that is that it was an assassination. It was intended. But he just thought for the longest time, Bruce Wayne, that it was because he was such a scaredy cat and couldn't deal, he had a thing about bats. Yeah. Because I think in one of the other films they show it where he fell in a well on the property and there were bats in there. And they did their thing. Scared the bejeebers out of him. And so supposedly then the original story, I don't know if it's like the original concept, but Batman becomes the Batman because he was overcoming his fear of bats, which he felt was the reason why his parents were killed, because of him. It was his fault. And it was only much later, of course, in various tellings of the stories. But the music, with the chorus singing and everything, and the scenes of the opera in the beginning of that one Batman movie is Arrigo Boito. And he did a setting of the whole kind of Faust idea.
Wow.
Yeah. And the music is incredible. It's really amazing. And interestingly, our local conductor here for many years, Alessandro Siciliani, he has a few recordings that are available, some good ones. Not a lot, but there's a few. And one of them is he directed Arrigo Boito's opera in New York.
Faust?
And it exists on a CD. Yeah.
Wow.
So I got around.
Yeah, I guess
And Liszt wrote, 4 versions for piano?
Yeah, 4 Mephisto waltzes.
waltzes.
5 if you count the bagatelle without tonality. And then there's a Mephisto polka.
He's kind of into that, huh?
Oh yeah, he was. I mean, he sort of played on the legend that was built around him.
Yeah.
He didn't deny it. He didn't say anything about it. I mean, when you have talent and technique like that, the legend seems to build itself around you.
Isn't it something? I mean, the man,
to explain it. So
he was his role model was Paganini.
Oh yeah, at least one of them. Yeah.
And the story about Paganini was, he was very gaunt and very tall and thin and pale and all that. That he made a deal with the devil to play the way he did. And the music that exists is pretty impressive, and the weird things that he did, like playing on one violin string, stuff like that.
Harmonics.
Liszt just wanted to be Paganini on the piano.
Yeah.
And the boy practiced himself into the ground forever and became pretty much the quintessential modern concert pianist that we all aspire to be somewhat related to.
Yeah, we all do. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll never forget some of the passages from his journal where he talks about. He says, I'm surrounded by scores, in music, the Bible, Shakespeare, Dumas, and all these other authors. He says, "My hands and my mind work like two damned ones."
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine that, doing that for a whole year?
Yeah. Well,
Being with that much. I mean, I don't know if it lasted a year. It may have lasted longer than that. Then he comes out, and he's he's a complete artist.
I think he was
a complete artist.
I mean, very clearly he was a child prodigy.
Oh, very clearly.
Yeah, because he met Beethoven,
Yeah.
and he studied with Czerny.
Czerny, yeah, that's an interesting story too.
And his famous Galop Chromatique or whatever.
Yes,
his early
the
work.
Chromatique.
There's a very similar kind of work titled In Late Czerny Piano Literature. There's a chromatic galop or something like that.
Yeah, it's sort
It's
of
in
like
one of
that.
those books I got, and it's very near the end of the whole thing.
Yep.
But I mean, he must have had some patronage because, of who he studied with, and I mean, he actually played for Beethoven. I'm sure they put in some words for him, but somehow, because he came from relatively humble beginnings, and his mom went with him to. Eventually, they settled in Paris. He was in Vienna before that, but Paris is where he really kind of literally came of age as a pianist, as a teenager, and just I thought it was more like 3 years, but still. I mean, clearly the stuff he wrote and the things that we can try to play.
Yeah.
And when you put that into contrast or comparison with the other kinds of music and artists at that time, he really was a self-made genius.
Oh yeah,
really
absolutely.
And it's interesting because he eventually led what was called the Musik der Zukunft, the music of the future movement.
Yeah.
So he supported Schumann, Chopin, of course. It just anything that struck him as being forward-looking music that was new stuff. So he was a big supporter of late Beethoven stuff. Nobody would have heard it back then if it weren't for Liszt. And he loved Schubert's song transcription or songs, transcribed them. He supported Schubert, and a big one was supported Wagner. And it's really interesting because I remember I have a whole bunch of books on Liszt, and I've studied and I've played a lot of his music. There's infamously, in the 1930s, whenever that year it was, that edition of Groves came out.
Yep.
The Groves Encyclopedia.
Yep.
It had on Franz Liszt a paragraph maybe.
Yeah.
Basically said a Hungarian charlatan,
Rachmaninoff was the same thing. The entry for Rachmaninoff, it said it lacks staying power.
There you go.
I saw that.
The British at the time, they got their comeuppance by the Second World War. Sorry, guys. But now I've got the 1980 version, I think. I bought it at the Boston Early Music Festival. This was really cool. Special deal for students. I bought the entire set for less than $900. And professionally at the time, it was like at least between $2,000 and $3,000. But they had a special deal if you were in school. And I actually had been given some money to go to the festival and things like that. And I used a portion of it to buy the Grove. I thought that's an investment. To have that. But then the articles is like huge. And the thing is when you look at Liszt's composition list, you're looking at like Beethoven similarly, or now nobody probably can compete with Bach, but when they do the list of all the pieces, of everything, Liszt was a really busy composer.
He was a very busy composer.
In lots of different media, instruments and things. He didn't write opera, right? But he did write choral works that really big, he did. Almost not like, in a sense, oratorios, right?
Yeah,
he did write
basically, he did
right?
do that. The Crucifixus.
Yeah, for example.
That one.
And there's some great stuff for the orchestra. Now, the thing I heard, though, he didn't do all the orchestrations, did he?
Not he had assistants.
Help, right?
He did have some help.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with that.
When he was in Weimar, right?
Yeah, he had. I think one or two of his students were more proficient at orchestrating, and so they helped him out with that.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, they're particularly in the symphonic poems, from what I'm told. So,
How'd we get onto him from your Gimple guy?
I'm sorry.
How'd we get onto him from your Gimple?
How do we go from Gimple
To List.
to List?
Why would we jump
Well,
into that? Just me
mostly
going
be-
off on
well-
a tangent, getting lost.
well, yeah, basically,
Sorry.
we went from this to that, but I wanted to. Somehow I wanted to go from there and somehow foray into the. PSI's
Oh, we're gonna do
at
a
the
special?
theater.
At the movie?
Yeah, at the movies.
We're doing that now?
Can we?
Yeah.
All
Wanna
right.
announce it then?
All
There we
right.
go.
Here we go. We're moving on to PSI at the movies. It's all here. Oh, I dropped it. Oh, good. Oh, jeez. Are we on yet?
There should be enough time, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you know the boys aren't here today.
Oh, I noticed.
They
Oh,
went
but the
on-
popcorn's still here, though.
Oh, yeah? They went on a bit of a trip because it's been so warm and nice outside.
Oh.
So
You smell that? It is popcorn. I know. I'm not kidding about that.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was me.
All right, so we're going back to. All right, welcome to PSIs at the theater.
Movies.
Okay, or at the movies.
Yeah.
Sorry, at
Yeah.
the movies.
Yeah.
So today we're sort of picking up from the cutting room floor, so to speak.
Oh.
I told you earlier that I've been watching a lot of our earlier episodes. I could not find an episode that featured this.
Oh. Harvey, this is a Harvey.
This is a Harvey Keitel
Yeah.
movie called Fingers.
Oh.
It is a James Toback film. You want to see?
Yeah. You brought something similar in.
Oh yeah, very
didn't
similar to
you?
this. But somehow I can't find it in any of our episodes. I've watched the first 10 episodes and have not found it. And I know it was at least our first 10. Now if it does happen to appear in the second 10 up to, we had something like nearly 50 episodes in our first year, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
So-
We was doing it almost every week.
Yeah, close to it. Anyways,
Wow.
some more information about the movie has come out. As a review, this movie, Fingers, starring Harvey Keitel. Here, I'll show it to our viewers here. Harvey Keitel.
He's a great
We all know him.
actor.
Oh, gosh.
He's the friendly police officer guy that tries to keep Thelma and Louise from
Yeah.
losing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we know
Yeah.
that story. But anyways, so this is a 1978 film released on March 2nd, 1978 here in the United States. Written and directed by James Toback.
Huh.
Producer George Barry. The cast is as follows. And this is, I'll give you some of the cast, but it's a very big cast. Harvey Keitel plays a character named Jimmy Fingers. Michael V. Gazzo plays Ben. I think Ben is his father in the movie.
Huh.
Tisa Farrow, related to
Mia
Farrow, plays a character named Carol. Now I'm not sure. I think Carol could be the love interest in the movie. Tanya Roberts plays the character Julie. I think she was in that 70s show. Played the mother.
Tanya Roberts.
Yeah. Tanya Roberts, isn't it? I think so. Anyways, here's let's see. Carol Francis plays Krista. Danny Aiello.
Oh,
know
he's
him.
great.
He plays Butch.
Yeah, Danny Aiello, he's in Moonstruck and all kinds of.
Yep.
Whenever you got
gangster
Italian
films.
families in New York, he's
Yeah,
in
and he's usually in it.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, like I said, this film, much like the Mephisto Waltz, it is not for kids. for those of you who are easily offended, this movie may not be for you. Okay, so anyways, Harvey Keitel, Jimmy Fingers, he plays a concert pianist wannabe, and the movie already opens with sort of him practicing Bach toccata and fugue in E minor on the piano, and he's sitting there, and he sort of convincingly, I mean, fairly convincingly, he mimics, the piano, the habits of someone practicing and being in their head. However, on the side, he has sort of another side job other than just pianist. He plays a thug collector for his father, who is a loan shark in the movie. And so it does get very violent. Now, as most of you know, concert pianists, this kind of a lifestyle is not conducive for concert pianists to be going out collecting for a loan shark or beating up people or making threats and just going about doing stuff like this. And basically, Jimmy Fingers, that's what he does in this movie. Carol Francis, who plays Krista in the movie, I believe she plays the mother of Jimmy Fingers. And she was, I guess, in the movie, I may be wrong about this, but I believe she was the one that gave him his first piano lessons. And so, anyways, there's a scene in there where he visits her, and she's very disappointed about how her young son turned out to be. He's he's his only child. But anyways, this movie has everything. It's very violent. You see him go to fisticuffs with his collecting style.
Really?
And
that can't be good for your hands.
No, it's not. No, it's not. He goes to fisticuffs, punching people out, and there's gunfights and a thing. And there is gratuitous everything. So it's not for children's eyes, and for those who are sort of easily offended, it's not your everyday movie.
Insight into what lights Elmer's fire here.
I was curious about it because I heard it was about a pianist. So I did want to watch the movie to see what it was about. And
now, people have some obviously really weird ideas about us.
Yeah, but this is different here. Now, eventually later, Fingers. There's a French release version of this movie, and it's called "The Beat My Heart Skipped." The Beat My Heart Skipped, and it's a French film. It is in French with English subtitles. Interestingly enough, they did it in black and white later on. Now, to the important part. Who was the pianist on the soundtrack? Sadly enough, he's not very well known. Mostly because, he suffered an early death. And it was during a time when his career was he was questioning himself, and perhaps even his abilities. Okay, now I can't say for sure that's what it was, but anyways, the name of the pianist in this film, and he was very hard to find. His name was James Henry Fields. Now, the first time we attempted to bring this movie up, and the only thing I knew was his first name and his last name. It's James Fields the first time, and that never made the upload. But we now have his middle name. It's James Henry Fields. And sadly enough, the only indication we have of his playing, is in that movie, which is only an excerpt of it. And YouTube video, an old black and white YouTube video of him performing on the Mickey Mouse Club season 3.
Oh.
And he's only 10 years old in this video footage, but he plays Flight of the Bumblebee.
Ooh.
And he plays the Chopin Waltz in F minor.
Wow, 10 years old, huh?
He's only he was 10 years old. Now, of course, they did some editing in the music since his hands don't, reach this and that. So, but anyways, he was a little kid, really little kid, and he had sort of this Opie Taylor quality about him, all American boy. All right, so anyways, he was, according to the stats, born November 1st, 1948 in L.A., California. Died on November 15th, 1984 in Shadow Hills, California, in the home of his sister.
When did he die?
November 15th.
What year?
1984.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, I know. He didn't live long. He was only 36 years old. Exactly.
Wow.
He was he went to Curtis Institute of Music.
Ooh.
Curtis. He got accepted, and he became the protege of Rudolf Serkin.
Wow.
Who prepared him for the May 1970 International Tchaikovsky Competition.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy?
And he doubted himself?
Yeah, no kidding. That's what I thought. That was exactly what I was thinking.
Jeez, buddy.
I mean, if you get into Curtis Institute and you get to study with Serkin, who's preparing you for the International Tchaikovsky Competition, he's not going to just lay down for any kid that just wants to go.
Right.
He has to see if they're, ripe for it.
Right.
And here's a kid who became his protege and says, "I believe you can compete." So he's going to prepare him for the Tchaikovsky competition.
Wow. So
whether he actually competed or went, that was never shared in the info I was...
Can I say something about that?
Sure.
This is an aside about artists doubting themselves. Have you ever had that experience?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely.
And I was talking about this just recently with Laura. When I was in my second year of my master's degree at Madison, my teacher, Howard Karp, you guys know my story.
Mm-hmm.
Howard was a classmate of Ben Clyburn at Juilliard with Rosina Levine as their teacher. And he was an amazing artist and pianist. He was in the line of pianists that taught at Madison that were kind of artists in residence kind of thing. For example, he kind of took over the seat that had belonged to Gunnar Johansson and Paul Bauer-Skoda, and then Howard came in. Well, he said, have you been thinking about where you're going to go for your doctorate? And he's just assuming I'm going to do it, And I said, well, I've been thinking about some possibilities. And he said, have you thought about going to my alma mater, Juilliard?
Ooh.
And I said, me at Juilliard? And he said, yes. He said, I seldom recommend my alma mater to my students. And he had good people. But he said, I seldom mention that, and I've never sent one of my students. But if you decide that you want to go, I'll pick up the phone and I'll make sure that they know that you should be there. And I'll give them my words about that.
Wow.
That's what Howard said to me. And not exactly those words, but like that.
Yeah.
The intention was he wanted me to go to Juilliard to get my doctorate. And I won't belabor you about the other reasons why I didn't go, but whenever I have had these moments where I kind of doubted myself or who I am or what I could do, I just remember my teacher, Howard Karp. You may not have heard of him, but he had a legacy. I mean, who he studied with and who he was and where he went and everything. That man thought I was not just good enough, but he was going to try to get me to the doctoral program at Juilliard. And so anytime I ever doubt myself or anything like that, I just remember Howard said I was good enough for Juilliard. he thought so.
Yeah.
And that just kind of, makes me feel good. I had another conversation that I'd share, which I would go on.
Yeah.
I've talked about it many times, my violin friend and mentor and colleague, Norman Paolo, who's still alive.
Yeah, I know.
In Maine.
Let's not get that wrong.
I thought he'd passed,
Let's not get that wrong.
And I wrote, because I looked him up and it said that he just died at the beginning of this year. And I wrote Eric, his son, out in Boulder. And I said, I'm so sorry to hear the news. And typical, Eric has this wonderful kind of ironic sense of humor. He said, well, you should write my dad and tell him that, because I think he would be very interested to know that he died in January. Because he's still alive, And I did write him, and I got a wonderful letter from him and everything. But I forget what the name of the lake is. I'll put it up and probably a picture of it. He lived in Allen's Park, Colorado.
Yeah.
And then you go for, I don't know how far, 20 miles, or maybe it's longer than that, I don't know how far it is, on the Peak to Peak Highway. And it eventually winds, and you get into Estes Park, which is where Rocky Mountain National Park is. There is a lake way up there in the mountains, beautiful lake, surrounded, and it's very Switzerland looking, beautiful. And we took a walk up there. Lily Lake, I think
Lily
it's called. Lily Lake. And we took a walk around there. And Norman was kind of like a father figure in a way for me. He's very supportive of my work. He loved to perform with me. That was another thing, that Norman Paolo played chamber music with me. And he wanted to, so. Yeah. And I'm not like that. That's never been a problem for me. I've always had a lot of self-doubt. But I remember him saying, I just kind of said, it was in a moment where I said, I just don't know why it's not working out. I apply for these jobs and I can't get them, this and that. And my other colleagues in the doctoral program where I'd gone, they had all managed to find themselves into something. Yeah. I didn't. Now, part of maybe, choices I made. I went to Europe, I worked here and went around the world, did some things like that. But Norman says, Mark, he said, I have known so many musicians in my life. And he said, remarkable people, remarkable musicians. Some of them have stellar careers. Some of them get really, good jobs and they're doing really well in life. And then other ones just don't seem to get the break. Mm-hmm. Whatever. And he said, and they're just as good as the ones that did well. And he said, in all of these decades that I've been doing music and everything, with my own success and all that, he said, to be honest with you, I don't understand how it works. Because he said, it doesn't seem to be any magic formula. It just happens for some people, and it doesn't happen for other people. And he says, and that's no judgment or comment on people's talent and their ability and their genius and what they can do. He said, it works sometimes it doesn't. And I've remembered some things like that people told me. I feel pretty good about what I'm doing in my life and the experiences that I've had, things like that. My dream had always been to have a big professorship, and guide and lead futures of students, and things like that. I did some of that in Europe in a way with the people that I worked with and so forth, but I have some thoughts about why I might not have. And I think part of it is because I don't think as much as I love learning and teaching and all of that, I don't think I fit the academic mold exactly. Mm-hmm. I don't think I was necessarily the right kind of guy to become that kind of square peg in a square hole kind of academician. Mm-hmm. And they may have sensed that somehow, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's... I'll shut up after this because it's not really meant to be about me. I was just trying to share this for other people. If you ever have your doubts, or I think it's natural. I love that image of Rubinstein in my scrapbook that I made from Life magazine.
Uh-huh.
He's got his penguin suit on, warming his hands up over the radiator, and you can see the doorway at Carnegie Hall out on the stage with the piano out there on stage. And this is just where he's trying to warm his hands up before he goes on the stage to perform at Carnegie Hall. My guess is, by the look of the age and stuff, it could have been during the historic recital period, the early 60s.
Yeah.
And the quote underneath is, "My nerves are the price that I've paid for my success."
Oh, I like that.
Isn't it?
Oh, my.
And that man was such a role model for me in so many ways. And I've always remembered certain things that he said or wrote that also helped me through my life and my career, as a musician and pianist and all those things. But I think it's been worth it. And I think it still is.
Absolutely.
What I'm doing now when I'm teaching these little kids, and I've got one that is just really brilliant. And of all my students, I think he has the potential to do whatever he wants with his music at some point as he gets older. He's only eight
years old?
9,
Wow.
maybe not even 9 yet, I think. But wow, brilliant, and just zooming through things, and so much so that when he brings in the pieces, he plays them all really fast. And he's already got the coordination thing down.
Yeah.
He goes, brrrr, and I'm saying, well, if we're going to do the duet stuff, you got to slow it down because I got way too many notes to play.
I have a student that did that once, and we tried to sit down and play a duet, and he went, blah, and then he looked at me and says, "Beat ya."
I remember one time with Ellsworth, he agreed to play. Ellsworth had a lovely song, really, and a very, if there's anybody that could play Fauré in a noble and beautiful way, it was Ellsworth.
Ellsworth?
He had a very kind of genteel way of playing. It was very lovely, and physically and everything, the sounds he made. He'd made John Cage sound gorgeous.
Oh, wow.
But
You could.
I was playing a concert recital, and he agreed to play with me. We had two of the what are they called? The duets for piano by Schubert.
Fantasy in F minor?
No, not
Not that
that.
one?
But there's two of them. It's not Marche Militaire, but something like that. There's two C major ones.
Okay, there's 3 marches.
Oh,
that one, yes. Yep.
Well,
Yeah, it's in 6/8, C major. I think there's even a funeral march.
I think we switched on one or the other, but when we started the one, I was on the bottom. I was secondo for that one.
What happened?
I played it too fast. Because you got double thirds.
Yeah.
And he was playing it, and just under his breath at some point he said, "Jesus Christ." But once you got the tempo started, what are you going to do? You know? And it was fine. He brought it off. But I got a little lecture after that. I was excited, and I loved it. And I just because it's the way I feel that piece.
Yeah.
But and I just heard he was playing like this, and then he just Jesus Christ.
Was it piano 4 hands?
Yeah, it's 4 hands.
Piano 4 hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get the title and put it down. I can't remember exactly what it is. I love the pieces. There's 2 of them. They're basically scherzo form, ABA kind of thing like that.
Scherzo
And,
trio.
Anyway.
Oh, that's too funny. Okay. Back to James Henry Fields.
Oh, sorry about
that.
That's
okay.
That's right.
All right, so we left off with
But we talked about that because he had doubts about himself.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Protege of Rudolf Serkin, prepared him for the Czech competition 1970. He was also a student of another legend, Ethel Legínska.
I never heard of her.
Ethel Legínska, yeah. Yeah, she didn't record very much, but what was released on Ivory Classics.
Yeah.
So check out if you can
Is
find
she
that CD.
British?
I think so, or either that or Polish-born.
Well,
British.
I know that, but
So
yeah, I mean, obviously with the name, but I associated her with a British pianist thing, right?
it could be. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Anyway.
So, anyways, some of the awards he was given. June 1965. At 17 years old, he won a $1,000 grant from the Young Musicians Foundation. And check this out. At 17 years old, he had an audition where he played Beethoven's Sonata Opus 31, number 3.
Ouch.
Yeah, no
That's
kidding.
one of my favorites.
Yeah, and he
E
played,
flat.
Bach Prelude and Fugue F minor, the Ginastera Sonata, first movement only.
Woo!
Yeah, I know. And then at the end, I guess he played the Rachmaninoff's Paganini Rhapsody.
Wow, with the orchestra.
Yep. Well, either that or a second piano, who
piano,
knows.
yeah.
So, but anyways, I guess the highlight of his career, as far as competing, 1971, he is the winner of the Levin-Tritt competition.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
the
a big-
Levin.
He didn't, but he did. Did he show her anything in Tchaikovsky or?
Oh yeah, he performed at Tchaikovsky.
No, but I mean in Moscow, right?
Oh, Moscow. No information's been
Yeah.
given about that, but he was given several opportunities already. He performed it with Albuquerque. He performed it with the Boston Symphony with Arthur Fiedler.
Wow.
So it was obvious he was prepping for the competition
Mhm.
when he performed it.
Good for him.
Yeah. 1984, November 15th, passed away in his sister's house in Shadow Hills, California.
Was he?
He was buried at Mount Sinai Memorial Park. They didn't say
84.
in the hospital. The hospital said unknown causes. That's what it said. I'm just
That-
giving you the info. It
I
said
have a.
unknown causes. is
Well,
what
I will
it
say
said.
so, but I have no idea what it could have been.
I'm thinking
That
till
age, that period of time.
yeah,
No.
1984
Yeah.
at 36. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, so if there's any other information about there, it's sad. And what I've heard, from the movie, the playing on the soundtrack, the Toccata in E minor by Bach, it sounds like he was a very brilliant pianist. It was well done. I mean, from what I've heard on it. So I'm sad that we don't have any other recordings of the man.
Mm.
I mean, somebody out there maybe bootlegged a recording at one of his concerto performances at the Tchaikovsky. It would be nice if you'd release it to the public and see, for his legacy. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Or even or his audition pieces for the Young Musicians.
The
Foundation.
ironic thing in our time,
Yeah.
with the smartphones and various things people have, people record everything.
Absolutely.
And a lot of it is garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that just, it's totally forgettable.
Yeah.
The sad thing is, can you imagine? I just sometimes think about if we had. Now, there was the Velta Mignon machine really did, I think, do some amazing things.
Absolutely.
But still, can you imagine if they'd had recording capability, especially like what we have now?
Yeah.
Go back and, oh, come on. Actually, really hear Franz Liszt perform
Yeah.
at the height of his career.
Oh gosh.
What would that have sounded like? Or Busoni.
Oh yeah.
Or some of these historically amazing people.
Oh yeah.
Because when you hear like the recordings of Ignaz Friedman, and then he talks about the people who he admired. Well, let's put it this way: big one, Anton Rubinstein.
Rubinstein.
What
Yeah.
would that have been like?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in many cases, we can only know by the music they left behind.
Yeah.
Probably what they could
Yeah.
really do and do it. But still.
Or their
And
students.
then the other thing is I would rather go on a time machine than hear Leopold Tchaikovsky at that famous debut recital in Berlin.
Yeah.
When the place was full of pianists.
Yeah.
And they stood up
Yeah.
and gave him standing ovations.
Yeah.
And yet the recordings that he made most of the time,
Yeah.
and it's substandard repertoire. And
Yeah.
some people just said the magic that was Godowski is not in the recordings because
Yeah.
somehow he was more self-conscious and
He wanted to be clean.
wanted to be clean and perfect about everything. And they said that's not the way he played. You know, it was a different thing.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Yep. Anyways, if anybody has any more information about James Henry Fields, I'm thinking even if we can prevail upon Peter Serkin, whether he knows
Is he still?
yeah, he's still around. Peter Serkin, you know, if he's still around, you know, if he has any information on James Henry Fields, you know, let us know. Give us a comment or two on our YouTube
Well, you know
video.
all those famous people, don't you? Can't you just call up Peter and ask him?
Oh yeah, right, right, Peter,
Yeah.
right.
He knows famous people, like the British pianist.
Yes,
Leslie
I know
Howard,
Leslie
right?
Howard. Yeah, we're familiar, but
Did he kind of bump into Earl Wilde once in a while?
Oh yeah, I did, but he's no longer around.
Yeah,
so you know, unless I have a séance, maybe I don't know. But Leslie Howard runs into many people.
Maybe he
And
knows
last time,
about the guy.
well, and last time I talked to him, he didn't remember me.
Oh.
So
Oh.
I mean, he's a busy man.
Hail fellow, well met.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, James Henry Fields, one of our fallen warriors. I think he left the world too early, 36 years old.
Oh.
I would love to have heard. I would have loved to heard these audition pieces. You know, he did for the young musicians competition. That would have been nice to hear what Ginastera or what he would do with a Bach Prelude and Fugue in F minor.
Mm-hmm. Book 1 or 2, do you know?
It didn't say, didn't specify. Beethoven Sonata, jeez. And at 17, to be performing Rachmaninoff's Rhapsody Paganini.
Yeah, good for him.
You know, at that time,
Yeah.
at 17,
Yeah.
probably rarely ever
Opus
heard.
31 number 3 is not a simple one to fluff off.
Oh, no,
That's
it's
a
not.
tough for sonata.
Yeah, it is, especially at that age. Okay, well, folks, we're still going on to the cutting room floor. I want to move on next to PSI's featured composer today.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Hello, folks.
Those look like
I'm sorry?
nice books.
Oh, they're very nice
Heavy
books.
books,
You'll be
yeah.
impressed. As a matter of fact, last time we talked about Defia, there was one book I did not bring with me because I could not find it. Well, I finally found it for this one. This was from the, like I said, we're moving on to the cutting room floor. Our Defia featured composer the last time didn't make the upload. But
that was one of those.
that was one of those. It was one of the Halloween. We had that one on the Halloween one. That first year that had Feast of All
right?
Sound or something didn't work.
Yeah, it was like garbled and then it died.
Who knows? I don't remember. But anyways, Manuel Defia. I had very little time to prep for this, but I still had my old cards from the last time. If you go on YouTube, the YouTube channel Camino Phil has uploaded a documentary on Defia. It was released by Rhombus Media, and the name of the documentary is "When the Fire Burns: The Life and Music of Manuel Defia." It was released in 1991. It is a documentary.
Cool.
It's all in Spanish, but there are English subtitles, and it's about a roughly hour and a half documentary. It's fairly lengthy. So if you're interested in Manuel Defia, and it was really, I watched the whole documentary. It's really well done. You'll see some of his staged works, particularly the operas or the ballets that he that he composed, and they're not performed often. I don't understand why we can't find a ballet company that produces these things. It puzzles me. His music is wonderful. It's brilliant. Okay, particularly the L'Amour Brujo, Love the Magician. That one, it's very fiery. It just spells the Spanish temperament.
Rubinstein did more than one transcription of some of his music, didn't he?
I'm sorry?
Rubinstein.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He did the Ritual Fire Dance, but I think he also did the Dance of Terror from the actual same ballet. But
I think it was Diaghilev, Serge Diaghilev, who also commissioned Fire to write some works for the ballet.
Yeah, and sadly enough, I don't know if we'll ever get to. I would drop everything today if Columbus Ballet or Ballet Met would produce one of these things. I would drop everything, absolutely. So, anyways, Manuel de Falla, born on November 23rd, 1876, Cadiz, Spain. Died on November 14th, a few days shy of his birthday. Died November 14th, 1946 in Alta Gracia, Argentina. He eventually found his way down to Argentina. So, anyways, father, Jose Maria Falla, was a banker in Valencia. Mother was a pianist. Her name was Maria Jesus Mathieu. She was Catalonia. Let's see. It says here, after she gave him his earlier piano lessons, he would eventually study in 1889 with Alejandro Odero. And he would eventually study harmony and counterpoint with Enrique Broca. Somewhere along the way, at age 15, he found himself interested in literature and journalism, and he founded 2 literary magazines at the time. 15 years old. What were you doing at 15 years old? Wow. Let's see. The 2 literary magazines, El Berlón and the Cascabel. So, anyways, as far as childhood life, I remember reading somewhere that the local church, their family was very, very Catholic. Every year, they would have a gathering for a performance of Haydn's Creation every year, and so that was it was a major influence in his life. Anyways, in 1900, I guess because of their financial situation, they had to move to Madrid. He attended the Real Conservatorio de Música y Declamación. He studied piano with Jose Trago, composition with Philip Pedrell. 1899, that was a year before, he did win a first prize in piano. And I guess he premiered a few of his piano solos, a cello work. And it was then that he started using the DE, De Falla, with his surname. So, upon hard times for his family, he started teaching piano classes. Let's see, he was starting to appreciate more the Andalusian culture, the music, particularly in the dances. So, it says here, early works including the zarzuelas. Have you heard of zarzuelas? Okay, well, he said he hated that art form. So, but anyways...
Zarzuela is a traditional kind of Spanish folk opera kind of thing. Domingo, Placido Domingo, when he was young and got his start, his family's very musical.
Yeah.
He sang zarzuelas as he, developed into a real full-fledged opera tenor.
Yeah. But okay, so let's get to the important stuff here. If you're looking for scores, one of my first earlier scores was this one. It's from Dover. It's got a neat cover to it. See? Okay, let me show the fans first. This is from Dover. I don't know if it's still in print. It's not a very big book. It's only I got a handful of works, but it's got the 4 pieces for piano. Want to look?
Yeah.
Now, if you want to go into a deep dive into his music, we have these. These are hard to find. These were, let's see, published by Chester Music Limited, London, England. Wow. So, but they contained a lot more of his earlier works and lots of, a few excerpts from his ballet operas, including the El Amor Brujo, La Vida Breve, and The Three-Cornered Hat, and some more of his earlier works. They're in 2 volumes. Now, I was surprised in either one of these volumes, they don't have his major work, the Fantasia Bedica, I believe it's called. Fantasia Bedica. That's probably his most ambitious and probably his most difficult work. Here's what these look like. So they're nice covers. Volume 1 and 2. 1, 2. So, anyways, now, let me show you this next one. This is a piano score of The Three-Cornered Hat.
Oh.
The full piano score. Now, interestingly enough, Alicia De La Rota actually recorded a lot of Defia, and some of it you won't find in some of these major publications. So she would prevail upon looking at the actual original ballet scores or opera scores, and she actually recorded some of these. Some of them as long as 2 pages, some of them as short as 1 page. So, anyways, they're very pianistic. There's extra parts, solo violin or flute parts or whatever, and you would have to make a judgment call as what to leave out or what to put in or leave in. So it's all here. So as far as The Three-Cornered Hat, I've never been able to locate the other 2 large stage works. Now, let's see. The only other keyboard and orchestra work, larger scale works, he does have the Nights in the Gardens of Spain, which is for piano and orchestra. And let's see, we have recordings of Santiago Rodriguez, Alicia De La Rota, of course. Daniel Barenboim has performed it. Help me out. The other Spanish pianist, Soriano, something Soriano. I can't remember his first name. Please forgive me. But in his earlier days, it was recorded quite a bit. There's also a William Capell recording of it. I have it somewhere in my collection of William Capell performing Defia's Nights in the Gardens of Spain. That's wonderful. And how could I forget? Arthur Rubinstein even had it in his repertoire, which is an impeccable recording. Now, the most valuable part of this collection here is this book, Manuel Defia, His Life and Works.
Wow.
A beautiful book. A beautiful book. Look at this. That is the man himself. Now, not only is this book, I've perused through this book, and it is less biographical and more of a collection, anthology, chronology, collection of his letters, interviews, and conversations he's had with friends and family members. There are a lot of pictures in this book, including copies of his autograph manuscripts, pictures of drawings, diagrams, cartoon figures, scribblings of little themes and things like that. Interestingly enough, he was a man who was a very considerate about his health, mental aptitudes, and things like that. He even has a section here called Manuel de Falla's Physical Training Routine, where he has pictures of how to perform certain exercises. Oh, yeah. He's got a picture of some guy or drawing or something showing him different exercises. Oh. So he was a man who was physically fit, so to speak. Lots of interesting pictures. His automobile, family, friends. Here you go. Ernesto Halfter. Does that name ring a bell?
Yeah.
There's a picture of him. And
yeah, I copied the music that you have.
So anyways, over here, this picture. Ernesto Halfter, very significant. They were good friends. There's a collection of songs that Manuel de Falla composed for voice and piano. I believe there were the 7 popular Spanish songs that he arranged, and Ernesto Halfter liked them so much that he went and transcribed them for solo piano, the 7 of them. So Alicia Delorta even recorded those. So they're very well written. No less difficult than the other works, but yeah, they're very well done. So, interestingly enough, there's a few tidbits here and there concerning the documentary and other source materials concerning the kind of man Manuel de Falla was. He was a devout Catholic. Always went to mass during the feast holidays, Sundays. He was very interested in early church music. But there were other things involved as well that created his persona. He did not like going out into the public during windy days because he felt that there was too much dust or something that were being blown in the air, and he didn't want to inhale them. He has a relative that talked about his routines in the morning when he brushed his teeth. He says that he would brush each individual tooth 30 times. Now, interestingly enough, the one popular work that received a lot of attention was L'Amor Brujo, Love the Magician. And it was a work that garnered a lot of well-deserved attention. The music is brilliant. The singing is brilliant. The ballets, the dances in the production is brilliant. There's not much I can't say about it that wasn't brilliant. The story is brilliant. But it's a work that he would not talk about. He didn't want to discuss. He would discuss everything else in his as far as repertoire goes, but that is the one work he would not discuss. It's a mystery. One of his later in his life, there's one of his relatives, I believe it was a nephew, that went to talk to him and asked him about the reason why he wouldn't discuss this work. And according to his nephew, now, correct me if I'm wrong out there, but he says it's a work that contains some of his most darkest, almost decadent thoughts. That's why he didn't want to discuss it. So, and if you consider the topic of conversation, the topic of the subject of the actual opera, I don't know, in comparison to what we have today, the actual story is very, very tame compared to what we have today. So the basic storyline, if some of you don't already know, it involves a woman whose lover had passed away, and his ghost keeps coming back to her, which henceforth why she goes sees this magician or warlock or somebody. I guess somehow they're supposed to perform a ritual which involves singing and dancing to placate the spirit, to have it move on. So, but anyways, I myself, I've played some of his work. One of my favorite works to play was the Ritual Fire Dance. It's a very brilliant work. Nowhere near what Alicia De La Rocha or even Rubinstein have done to it, or even, should I say, Julius Katchen. I have a recording of Julius Katchen performing it. And if some of you pianists out there have, performed this work, I urge you to get your scores out and listen to what Alicia De La Rocha does with the opening pages. It's uncanny how she does it. I'm still trying to figure out how she did it. And maybe you can figure it out from watching the video. Somehow she's able to get the trill going and at the same time getting the bass notes still to come out so crystal clear. It's amazing. It goes, the bass notes are D or D, A, E, A, D, E, or D, A, E, A, but the E is overlapped with the E, F trill that's going on. And the way she gets that E to come out during that trill is uncanny. But it's there, it fits really well. The only other work I've ever played by Defia is the two dances from the La Vida Breve. Now, with those two works, the Ritual Fire Dance, you could pretty much perform it and learn it, verbatim, note for note. Now, with the La Vida Breve, I had some problems with it, mostly because of the note accuracy that's printed on the page. So I urge you, if you ever plan on playing music from La Vida Breve, find a recording or the full or conductor score and make comparisons with the notation. There are some notes in there that are rather, suspect as far as their accuracy goes. You finding something interesting in there?
Behind the book.
Which book?
That one.
Oh, you mean this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Found a copy for $8, $6 shipping and handling.
Oh, not bad.
$14.98.
$14.98, not bad, huh?
Yeah, well, because somebody else is selling it on Amazon for $65.
Ouch.
So, yeah, I'm very fascinated with the guy.
Yeah, it's very fascinating. Yes. Yeah, he's. If anything, to know more about the composer, listen to the music. The guy had personality. They're very distinct. Flamenco plays a big role in the way he composes music. You definitely hear flamenco in it. Some of the distinct dissonance that you hear in his music has to be percussive. You hear castanets and little finger bells in it, and it just has to be percussive because it agogically it's supposed to somehow jolt some way, this way and that way, but it's part of the rhythm, so very fascinating man. I could say that the quality of this music, it has sort of this like I said, flamenco flavor, but almost this reckless gypsy quality to it, but you're still holding the reins and keeping it under control. They're not like Hungarian Rhapsodies, okay? They're not Hungarian Rhapsody, nor are they like the Hungarian dances by Brahms or Slavonic dances by Dvorak. This one is something it's more, I don't know, it's a little bit more controlled. It has sort of a defiance to it, a quality of defiance. The Spanish flamenco quality to it that says, where you could almost hear the feet go boom. And the lady and the guy are standing up straight, getting ready to let loose on whatever dance they're going to perform for you. Very well written and very, very Spanish. Which ones?
The dark one. Yeah.
These ones? Okay, there's two of them. But I've been an avid admirer of Defaya. He is definitely on my wish list as far as learning repertoire. I want to learn the Fantasia Bellica someday. I want to learn the 4 Spanish pieces someday. Like I said, as far as repertoire goes, I've gone as far as the La Vida Breve. There's only 2 dances there.
These are lovely.
Aren't they?
Chester music.
Chester music. Yeah.
English,
yeah, London. So.
Nice paper, really.
Oh, the English do well.
Beautifully printed stuff. Wow.
Yes. And like I said, it's just interesting. These contain some of his earlier works.
Did you get this here in town?
Which one?
These. What's our place called? Staples or not? Stapleton's or what's our
Half Price books? I got these.
Oh, those are from Half Price?
Yeah, I got them at Half Price years ago. This is before I met Kathy.
What's our music store called?
Stanton's.
Stanton's, I said. Yeah.
Stanton's, yeah. Yeah, I got both of these over at Half Price Books. And, this is even...
Which means it was somebody else's library, right? And they got it.
Well, it doesn't look like anybody used it, though.
Yeah.
They're virtually untouched. Yeah. This one was a shocker. I found this in the clearance section. I got it for $2.
Whoa!
This one. I was like, well, how did this land in the clearance section? Clearance section? Really?
Yeah.
Holy moly. I about died when I saw it. I was
Looks like a really interesting book.
Did you see this?
I haven't, but I already bought 2 copies of it.
2 copies?
I got a Kindle version for $9, and I bought an actual paperback one from eBay.
Okay.
For $8.
Wow. Not bad. Not bad. So, but yeah, Manuel Defaya.
Beautiful photographs.
Yeah. So if any of you pianists, youngins, are looking for something different other than your standard, Defaya might be your man. It's something very exotic, very different. And there are other Spanish composers as well. Albéniz, who's been known as the Spanish Liszt. Here's another composer, Joaquin Turina. You talk about Spanish Impressionism. It doesn't get much more Impressionism than Turina.
I've played some of his stuff, songs with Emily Bullock, mezzo.
Yeah.
We did some Turina's music.
Wow. What was that like?
Incredible.
Oh, yeah?
There's some serious virtuosity and stuff, but it was a lot of fun to play.
Yeah.
Some wild
I would
stuff.
imagine. Yeah, I've always wanted to do the fantastic dances by Turina.
This is like a personal scrapbook.
Exactly.
Lots of different photographs.
Yep.
Words and stuff. It looks like somebody's scrapbook.
Yep.
To put the whole thing together. There's all different kinds of resources.
Yep.
Wow. Tons of pictures.
Yes,
wow.
Tons of pictures.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay, so...
you brought in some things that I found them, I added them to my library. This is one I'm going to really look forward to. I remember La Bamboula.
Yeah, the
God
Shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found a copy of that.
Yeah.
I think it was probably on eBay.
Yeah.
That's often a good place to look for
Boy,
some of this
the
stuff.
stories the adventures that guy had. Oh my gosh.
Well, he's from Nolans, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, in comparison,
people are given to scandal, right?
Yeah, this one, I don't think you're going to find very much scandal with Manuel de Falla. He left a very...
He was a very proper Spanish fellow.
Mean, yeah, he was very attentive to everything about his life, his religious spirituality,
I admire
his
something
music,
like about him.
Physical health, mental health.
When I looked at some of the compositions and things, his music has a very unique character and flavor to it, and yet you can tell that his craftsmanship is really good.
Oh God, yeah, it
and
is.
it's an admirable thing. I mean, when you think about the whole process of transmitting knowledge and skills from teacher to student through the generations, you can see that the music looks like it lays very well on the piano, and yet some of the early stuff, like there's a mazurka, I think it's the first.
Yep, there's a mazurka.
But it's nothing like Chopin or even Fauré. There's something very different there immediately. But it's just very admirable. I think that somebody can be part of the whole tradition, and their teachers teach them how to master music composition, and then they bring something that fresh and different to it. I mean, I'm thinking just in comparison, not fairly, but we've looked at some composers sometimes. Who was it? It was a Russian composer. I don't think it was Mentner per se. It was somebody else we looked at, but I remember a lot of the titles and things like that. There was clearly a lot of influence from Chopin in his music, but I don't mean this in a bad way, but there was something a little bit more derivative about it, this doesn't seem at all derivative. This is This is very fresh stuff. But I like that about the Spanish, because one of my favorites is Montpou.
Montpou, yeah.
I love Montpou, but I played Granados. Spain is an interesting country for their contributions. Arthur Rubinstein fell in love with the people, the culture, the language.
Absolutely.
Went to South America and swept the place up. He was, around 30 or something? He was Polish pianist and stuff. And he said it was really his first great international success. He says, everybody was in France and people loved him, and he was fine with all that stuff. But when he went to Spain the first time,
they went
you got to read the stories about. Remember when he goes to the family, and he's a young guy. He goes to their house and he has like 5 or 6 daughters. And they're all trying to.
They're all schmoozing up to him.
He's thinking they're going to walk away with the Polish husband.
Here, no material was worthless to this guy. Check this piece out here. This is the song, his arrangement of the song of the Volga Boatman.
I know why.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Look at the chords on the next page.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I would like to hear this.
Yeah, right?
Show it to him.
Yeah. Okay.
It's very interesting. It's very conservative at the beginning, although creative.
Yeah.
But where he goes with his harmonies and stuff.
Look at the first page. Look at that. Now, folks, this is the song of the Volga Boatman.
Da 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 dee da 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 da. But then when you see where some of the harmonies and stuff go,
look at what he does.
I would love to sit down and play that and see what it sounds like.
This is the second and third page. Crazy, huh? Yeah.
He played through that one.
Oh yeah. I've played through most of this. Notice that I'm afraid to crease the page, so what I've done was.
That's the collector in you.
Yeah, no kidding. I want to keep it preserved, so I've clipped this page here to part of the stand, and this one to the stand here. So they're just to hold it open, and I'm carefully turning the page as I go. But yeah.
Just if you're ever interested, I'm pretty sure Defy has music. Now, the only thing you have to think about is sometimes if there's a modern edition, which is controlling that edition of the music. But otherwise, IMSLP, the Petrucci Library online, he's been dead long enough. His stuff is probably all public domain.
Could be there.
I just saw it recently. I recommended it to a student and their family. And it's, I think it's $24 a year. It's $2 a month, basically.
Yeah.
Have unlimited downloading and access to probably millions of pieces of music. It's incredible.
Yeah. So, other than the Nights in the Gardens of Spain, there is a concerto for harpsichord and chamber orchestra. That was his last work, I believe. It was a harpsichord and chamber orchestra, and according to the critics, he gets so much sound out of a small ensemble. They've never heard anything like it.
Cool.
And that's just a harpsichord and a chamber orchestra.
So, who came first, Poulenc or Manuel de Falla? Poulenc wrote a concerto for harpsichord as well.
Yeah.
I wonder who was first.
That's a good question. Depends on
Well,
what...
de Falla is older than Poulenc, isn't he? Because Poulenc died in 63?
Yeah, he
like
died in... what year was it?
46.
40...
I think you said.
Yeah, 1946.
So he may have gone before him.
Yeah, so Manuel de Falla was basically a contemporary of Rachmaninoff. Rachmaninoff was 1873 to 1943. This one's 76 to 46. So it's just by 3 years, these two. So.
Well, it's interesting that he wrote something for harpsichord. I bet who the influence or the inspiration was probably Lewandowski. Who else was playing harpsichord back in those days? And then, of course, he has the tradition of Domenico Scarlatti. Despite the fact he's an Italian, he spent his entire life in the employ of the Queen of Spain, right?
Yeah.
And playing on her instruments and writing all this music and everything.
Yeah.
Nice job, huh?
Yeah. Not bad. I'd like to work for royalty. Wow, that would be nice.
All those harpsichords and brand new forte pianos. And everything. I think they had a Cristofori.
Yeah.
I think in court.
Yeah.
Boy, I think he was supposed to be teaching her. Good for him. But wouldn't that have been something in Spain too? That could have been kind of nice.
Yeah.
Good weather.
Yeah. I've always wondered, do royalty nowadays still hire, put musicians on the payroll, like they did with the older composers, Haydn, Mozart, and all that?
I don't know. It seems to me. I lived in Germany, and there's old money and old families.
Kapellmeisters.
Well, there are Kapellmeisters.
Wolfgang
Safalisch technically was a Kapellmeister.
For royalty?
No, but he worked for the city. Yeah. But that's that's in a way like Bach, for example.
Yeah.
His last big job in Leipzig, he was employed by the city, not by a royal family or anything like that. He did Anhalt Köthen.
Yeah.
He wrote for, what was he, a prince or something?
Yeah, he did.
He wrote the Baltic Clavier for that guy.
I'm not sure.
He also spent a little time in prison.
I know. I spent a month in prison
because he accepted the contract from Leipzig without getting permission from the prince to leave.
Yeah.
So he put him in prison for a month, but I don't think it was like,
Yeah.
I think it was probably pretty nice, but just to make his point, like,
Yes, I'm still the king here.
And what did he do? He just wrote a buttload of music that month.
Buttload of music, Never put a good man down like that.
Protect the boy.
Yeah. Well, did you enjoy the show today?
Absolutely. Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything particular to contribute, but can I say one thing?
Yeah, sure.
I just want to put things a little bit of a downer compared to everything else we've done. my life's been consumed this past week with death.
No.
A very good German lady friend at the church, Monica Nicole, she died, and we did a memorial service for her on last Saturday. She's a lovely lady. If I can find a picture of her, I'll put it up. But she was a lovely person. And then that Saturday afternoon, after I had gone to play for her memorial service, I went to the hospital, Riverside Hospital. That's the people that took care of me when I had my heart attack in 2016, and then I went back in 21 and had a little extension of the stent put in. Dr. Charles Botti, B-O-T-T-I, did the work. But one of my dearest friends here in Columbus, Dr. Renee Blaha, had a heart attack last Tuesday.
Is he okay?
A week ago. And it turns out, well, he was in there for a while this past week because he had atrial fibrillation and they had some problems getting his numbers right and things like that, and they wanted to check on him, but he didn't become strong enough to have a procedure done. But what they did discover is that his left ventricle that pumps the blood I think, into the heart, 2/3 of it was dead. It wasn't working. The muscle wasn't working.
2/3.
So what they were going to need to do is put one of these little artificial pumps in his heart to make it work. But that was going to be down the road. He's talking, he's got to do physical therapy and then take the medicine. They were going to try to stabilize him with the medicine.
Yeah.
And then he was thinking maybe near the end of this year he could actually be suitable enough to have the physical surgery done.
Okay.
Get it done. But I got a call from his grandson about 2:30 on Monday afternoon. Apparently late Monday morning. I don't know the details. But his heart gave up the ghost. And they worked really hard to resuscitate him, but it didn't work. So my dear friend, Dr. Renee Blaha, passed away at around noon on Monday, the 13th. And I've been consulting with the family recently about how they're going to do a celebration of life for him and everything. But I haven't read much. I haven't practiced because I've been tending to these things lately. So I just wanted to mention it because I don't mean to bring everything down, but just to mention him and honor him because he was a really special dear friend, an amazing person. So... But, I haven't got much to report myself because I was kind of occupied. Marc. Thanks. Yeah.
That's a lot to handle for a week.
Yeah. To be honest with Renee, I haven't even begun to process the loss. I saw him. I spent nearly 3 hours with him on Saturday. And, he was a bit weak and all wrapped up in cotton blankets and stuff to keep himself warm and everything, but he was funny. We were talking German and English, the kind of patois that we do, and just all about different subjects and stuff, and talking about the future. And, he's a man who loved life and living, and was very spiritual, and never focused on the negative stuff. One of the things he said to his family, he said, if I should go for some reason, I don't want any kind of morose memorial service or something. I want, people to have a good time. Remember all the good stuff.
Oh, so wow.
I talked with his daughter this morning, and I had laid out some ideas, which I'd also just shared some talk from in the Mentor Corps organization about what the various people thought might be nice to do. And the really cool thing, the Mentor Corps was started in 1848 here in Columbus. The church that I play for, St. James, Sankt Jakobus, originally, was a German Lutheran church. And even though the church kind of got going in 1846, they founded the church officially in 47. My joke is that the Germans kind of had things in a certain order, right? First they built the church, and then they built the bar.
That's a good one.
But because of our connection together, the St. James now does their services in English, but once a year, in the early summer, the first Sunday of August, they have the Brat Festival, they call it. It's that they have their own unique recipe, which apparently Schmitz has been trying to buy from them for decades.
Schmitz?
They won't sell it.
sell.
They won't sell it. They got this wonderful recipe. But anyway, it's a big deal for about 3 days. They have just food and things going on. And on the Saturday, they have true 19th century baseball teams playing against each other in games out there on the field.
19th century?
19th century baseball, not the present day stuff, but
So
the way
what's-
they used to play it when it was first created. Abner Doubleday, started that stuff.
Yeah.
President Grant, Ulysses Grant, loved baseball so much that he had a baseball field built next to the White House back in the
Oh, gee, wow.
It's interesting. They have mitts, but they're different. The uniforms, and all that.
Yeah.
The bat and the ball, it's different.
Yeah.
I think it's a little harder.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Is it anything like
catch that
stickball?
sucker, huh?
Anything like stickball?
A
The
bit.
stick is only like this, and then
A
they
bit.
have to play a ball after
yeah.
ball.
But anyway, then on Sunday, when everything winds down at about 2:30, I think it is, those who want to stick around go into the church, and for a long time now,
Yeah.
Columbus Minor Corps has taken the responsibility to conduct the German language service
Wow.
because it's in their constitution that they have to do a German service once a year. It's just in their laws, in their bylaws.
Wow.
And so we've been singing there at the summer thing, and then we do the service and then sing the liturgy and various things like that in the Sunday service. And then more than a couple of years ago, Steve Dotson, who's the president of the congregation, he just stopped being it. He's been done with it. But he'd been the organist for like 40 or 45 years. And he knows me because of the Minor Corps. And they called me and they said, you know everybody in town who seem to be well connected. We need to find an organist for our church, and do you have any thoughts about that? And the interesting thing is that I don't know why they asked me, because they know that I was a concert pianist and all that.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't say anything at first. I said, well, I've got a few names in mind. And then I left and I went home, and I was talking with Laura. And I said, I remember my dad told me, he said, you should make sure you stay on top of the organ, because you never know when it could be useful. And I studied for a year with Trudy Faber at Wittenberg. And I called him up and I said, what if I did it? And Steve his immediate response was, that would be wonderful. And I always wondered if that's part of the reason why they asked me.
you.
Let him go home and sit with it and see if he gets the point. It's been a really serendipitous experience. I think I'm a complex Christian, not a simple one. I mean, I've studied so many different things in practice and so forth. But I think I found my path. But what I love about this place is they're Missouri Synod Lutheran, so a little bit more conservative, but not nasty conservative. But let's just say the place has a feeling like a simple church in the country kind of feeling, and the people, like that. They've really taken me completely in, and I really feel very welcome and loved there, and I feel like I'm part of the place. And I really feel that between the Minor Corps organization and the church, they are my family. I have a real family here, It's not the blood family.
Yeah.
Because most of them are gone, but I've got all these people, and Renee was definitely a big part of my family. And the idea that he's physically gone, I mean, I feel his presence. I had Tuesday the next morning, I went and took an early morning walk, and I just felt his presence out there in the sky and the light and everything around. But the actual physical, like, I can't go see him ever again. I can't call him up. Or we're not going to go out and have a Chinese dinner together or something. I still haven't somehow it hasn't hit me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm sorry to talk so long.
That's all right. That's all right.
That's
Should we close out yet, or?
yeah, that's enough. Yeah.
Okay. Well, folks, if you enjoyed our show today,
Thank you for all your contributions.
Absolutely, anytime. When I can. Sometimes I'm on top of my game, sometimes I'm not. But if you would know, I was on top of my game today, please let me know. Go down below, comment, like, and subscribe. Let your friends and family know, co-workers. Help build up the subscribers in our show. Visit us on Facebook. And meanwhile, look forward to with bated breath for our next episode, where we show you what we've been reading, what we've been playing, what we've been listening to, and hopefully we'll have some more good stuff for you as always.
I'm Dr. Mark.
I'm Elmer, and we are
Mark and Elmer's PSI Piano Scene Investigations.
Bye, folks.
Bye-bye.